Hello and welcome to Project Sub 40, my new series on the channel. Let's get it started. Some of you may be wondering, Alessandro, what is Project Sub 40? So Project Sub 40 for me is going to be in a 10k distance where we have our race on the 5th of November is the Nebworth 10k. And previously this was going to be the half marathon that I was going to be doing, but me and my athletics / running coach have decided and agreed that it would be best for me to keep my runs to a maximum of 10k for the meanwhile right now, as I am still looking to up my mileage. And the last time I did try and go up a little bit too high to get that half marathon training in, I did get a little injury. So we feel firstly I need to up my mileage and get consistently up around the 50s and maybe the 60-kilometer weeks, and maybe next year we'll get that half marathon done. Every single week I'll be trying to get out a video talking through the week of training that I have done on my Strava, so it'll show you my runs, my track sessions, my S&C, and all the other training that I will be doing in the week, just to give you an insight into what I'm using in my 11-week training plan to get that sub 40 10k. I did do a 10k 2 days ago on Sunday the 13th of August, which I didn't record because I didn't have very good high hopes for that race, because the week leading up to it wasn't very promising. I didn't run the whole week until the day before just to test out my leg, because I had a small little tweak and injury in my ankle and my right calf. So it wasn't a great week leading up to it. My expectations were only really to get sub 45 and get around like we did last time. Let's just say it went a lot better than expected. So we have our number here. We were 158. It was the London Summer 10k, which took place in Regent's Park, the exact same place we got that sub 45 10k that you saw in my recent video. It is an absolutely beautiful medal. So happy to get it, and it's even better to go with not just one but 2 PBs we got on that day. We got a 5k PB and also the 10k PB. Before we get into the 10k PB, our 5k PB before this was previously 21:32. So that was our 5k PB, and in this 10k race we went out very hard. I don't really know, I wasn't really anticipating to go out that hard, but it was quite a stacked field. I felt quite good on the morning, so I was like, I'll give it a go. We went out at about 350 per kilometer pace, and I was feeling really good. And yeah, so we got our new 5k PB, which was 20:48, about 2 minutes PB from the 44:28. We got a massive PB of 41:59. So we are so close now getting that sub 40. We are 1 minute and 59 seconds away. Well, actually 2 minutes if you really want to go sub 40. So yeah, 2 minutes away from that sub 40, and I can't wait to get it. I can feel it, the fitness is coming. I've actually got a track session tonight. My 10k on Sunday wasn't all plain sailing. It was very difficult coming up to the end. We did get through the first about 8.5k, feeling really comfortable around that really low 4 and high 3 minute per kilometer pace. We got through about 8.5k feeling really comfortable, and then around 9k we got quite a heavy stitch actually. I've never experienced something that painful whilst running. It was not fun, but we got through the pain, we battled through. It felt actually feeling quite weird. It felt really nice to sort of battle through it, because sometimes you think it's all just physical, but it is actually the mental game. You've got to just sort of battle through it, and you've got to go into that deep mindset and just zone in and focus. And I was so happy with it, because I actually left just enough in the tank for about 500 meters to just kick at the end, and that was what got me that under 42 minutes 10k. And it's amazing to see that it was a very competitive field compared to the last one. Obviously I came 5th overall in the last 10k I did, and 1st in my age category. This time I came 15th, but in a much harder group, and then 2nd in my age category to, I think it was a 17 or 18 year old, I can't remember, and he was about 30-40 seconds in front of me. So do you know what, not too bad after we've only been running for 8 months, so we're doing really well with our training. Yeah, that is a quick overview of how the last few weeks have gone with my training and also with the race. So guys, here we have my training plan here. You may not be able to see it. I'm gonna try and get it to focus on the training plan. Oh. So yeah, this is the training plan we have here. It's not completely finished, and I'll talk you through why that is in a moment. But we have already completed 2 weeks of it, which was actually when we were planning to do the half marathon. So it was meant to be a 14-week training block. It is now a 12/11 because we're halfway through this week already. So we're going to call it an 11-week training block. So this week so far has been a rest day on Monday because I had obviously my 10k on Sunday, and I didn't want to do the same mistake I did last time, train on the next day and then get injured. So I very smartly, use my initiative and gave myself a rest day, complete rest, just did a bit of stretching and mobility to keep the muscles nice and loose. So we did that recovery, and then today we have done 25 minutes on the elliptical. As you can see, where is it? If you can see there, 25 minutes on the elliptical, and also a core training session at the gym. Then later tonight at 7 o'clock I have my 2nd track session with Watford Harriers. Don't know what this session's going to entail, but in my week 1 of my 11-week training block video, we will have obviously a look through all the data from my Strava and all the sessions that I have done in that week. And tomorrow is a swim and S&C to focus on some of the weak points in my legs, so I can try and prevent injuries, so I can keep running and upping that mileage nice and slow until I want to get around the 45, I think, because me and my coach discussed that I think my top layer where I should be right now is around 48 kilometers or 30 miles if you do it in miles. Tuesdays and Thursdays are my sort of double days on nearly every single week in the block, because I have my elliptical session and then I have a track session in the evening. I find it's really good to imitate how a double day may be in a year's time, when I'm built up the mileage and the strength in the legs to do a double day, so I can up the mileage and run even further and even faster. So it's just a really good way of trying to implement a sort of double day into my training plan. And then on Saturdays it can either be a park run depending on how I'm feeling, or we will be doing a tempo session, which can either be on the treadmill or on the grass, because I found that grass running, I actually quite enjoy it. I know you're going to be sort of running around in a circle, but I feel that it's really good on the legs, as it is, lower impact, and it hopefully reduce injuries, and also it can strengthen the legs because you have to push off harder, as it is softer ground usually on the grass. So I thought I would add in some grass sessions. I don't know exactly where they're going to be in the training plan. As I said earlier, this training plan you can see here is not complete. The reason my training plan isn't complete is because I'm mainly working by myself to create my training plan, and obviously I'm not a specialist coach or running coach or anything like that, so I'm sort of making it up sort of as I go along and learning on the job really here. And obviously I've made some mistakes. I've got a few injuries from overdoing it and putting some sessions in when I shouldn't do it, or not resting when I should rest. So what I've done is I've only put 4 weeks. I've only put 4 weeks of this 10k training plan together, and what I'm going to do is just use that 4 weeks or a month to see how it goes. We're going to see how our body feels. We're going to do a lot of recovery, and if in those 4 weeks we feel our body's getting used to it and the recovery time's going down and we're getting more used to that mileage, we will then slowly up it a little bit more, and then consistently until the 10k, and obviously we taper down consistently by the end, getting to the mid 40 kilometer mileage for the weeks. so we can just build up that strength and toughness in the legs, so then eventually, hopefully, in maybe a year, depending on how the progress goes with the mileage, hopefully we can get that half marathon booked. Really happy that I've joined a club. I was quite nervous actually wanting to join a club because I thought, am I good enough? Should I go? Do I deserve to go? Am I experienced enough? I've only been running for 8 months. But honestly, I've only been once, but it's been a great environment for that one time, and I'll see tonight obviously if it's the exact same. So before I end this video, I would like to speak through some of my goals for the end of 2023. We have about 4.5 months left of this year. Obviously we have September, October, November and December, and then we're halfway through August. So in that time, 4.5 months, we obviously have our 11-week training plan, which takes up a little bit of that time. Then we've got a bit of free time afterwards, where I will see what we're going to do around that time. It might just be a little bit where I don't really have a plan, I'm just going for certain things, or maybe where I have a strict plan, maybe going for 5k, we'll see. But the goals I want to try and achieve for the end of 2023 are as follows. There's not too many of them. They're ones that I feel like I can quite easily achieve. I feel with the training that I'm doing and how I'm progressing. Obviously I don't want to say I'm going to achieve them and just say yes, I'm going to definitely get them, be a bit cocky and stuff and say, oh yeah, easy. But no, I think that I've got these goals and I think I can definitely achieve them with the work that I'm putting in to everything I'm doing, my nutrition, my recovery, my track sessions, all of that good stuff. So I feel like I'm really putting in the hard work, so I hope I can get these goals before the end of 2023. So the goal number 1 is, of course, the whole point of this series is that sub 40 10k. For that 10k, I would have to knock off, as I was saying at the beginning of the video, about 2 minutes. Obviously, I don't want to be right there at 39, 59. I feel like I want to knock off a little bit more, but if I do, obviously that is still sub 40, and I would be really happy with that. But obviously, I want to go for the best. I want to try and knock it down even more. But yeah, that is obviously one of my goals for the end of year, and that is probably my biggest goal I want to hit for the end of year. And that is why I've made a whole YouTube series, or what I'm going to make a whole YouTube series about it, and why I'm going to try and get weekly uploads for you guys, so you can see how I am aiming to achieve that. My second goal for the end of the year is also to do with the 5k. So I am right now at 20:48, and you're going to guess it. It's very obvious. Loads and loads of runners always want to break this one. It is that sub 20-minute 5k. Hopefully I can get it this year. We are 49 seconds away from that 19:59-minute 5k, and I can't wait. I feel like I've progressed quite weirdly with the 5k. Obviously I started in January doing my early morning 5ks, and nearly every single one I was going PB, 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 and it was getting pretty stupid because I started about 30 minutes for 5k. Obviously I've got down about 9 and something minutes since then, but we started around 30, and then we got around 22 and we sort of plateaued, and I realised, because at that point I was just doing 2 5ks a week really, because obviously I was still playing football. I wasn't really focusing on my running at that point, so I was only doing literally flat out 5ks, no easy runs, no track sessions. So you were going to see a plateau, which I obviously didn't foresee. But I obviously booked that 10k, and as soon as I got into that 10k, we had an 8-week training plan, and that really got everything going. Obviously the 5k sort of cut out. I wasn't really doing 5ks, but in that time, without even realising, I was getting faster. Only by a little bit. We've only improved by about a minute and a bit from then, but it's still an improvement that was unexpected. Wasn't obviously training for the 5k, and we still got faster. So it's great to see. This shows how much our fitness has improved in a 10k distance, where we're not even going full out for that first 5k. We can still get a really big PB on that 5 kilometer distance, obviously of that 20:48. So I'm feeling slightly confident that I can get that sub 20-minute 5k in the near future, actually, maybe in the next month or two. I'm hoping. I do want to try and get that nailed down before the 10k, because I feel that is a really good stepping stone to show that you can get that sub 40 10k, because obviously if you get that sub 20 and 20, obviously 40, you want to get lower down. So you know, it makes all sense to get that sub 20 minute 5k. And that will also be documented on this series, all the goals that I want to do for the end of this 2023 year. It's been a really good year for me for running and my fitness in general, my sport. Obviously, I don't know if I said this, I have actually quit football, so my full focus now is on training for running, the track, all of that good stuff. I've absolutely enjoyed it. I get a massive buzz from running. Like, I should have been recording on Sunday when I had the race, because that was just different. Like, you thought I was excited on that time when I beat that sub 45. This one was next level, and yeah, the hard work has paid off so much. I'd say my last two goals are less time-based and more experience and wanting to do them and get involved in them, and that is getting into a cross-country race, maybe. I think the cross-country season starts around October, so obviously I'll see how and when that happens, and if I can get into the team. I don't know exactly how it works, but that would be amazing to maybe get in before the end of the year. It looks really fun and I really want to try and get involved. And the last goal to do with running, obviously there's loads of other goals I want to do in life, but just to do with running today, the last goal is to do with the track. So for the track, obviously the track season is basically finished, and well, it is actually finished, but I would like to set some milestones, which actually does sort of link in with times, but I'd like to set some milestones and do some time trials in some of the middle distances on the track. So the 1500, the 3k, and maybe dabble down to the 800, we'll see. I just want to see what is my top end pace that I can get on those distances. I want to really push myself, and that it's just different, you know, when you're doing longer distance, you're sort of having to hold yourself. In that, you're going flat out. I want to see what I can produce really, and what paces and times I can get. Obviously I did say it wasn't to do with times, but I want to see what time trial and what times we can achieve, so then we know what our goals will be in the summer when we hopefully and eventually do some track races. We now come to the end of the intro to my Project Sub 40 series. Hope you did enjoy this one. Hopefully it's not too long. I did talk quite a lot about my goals and the training block that I'll be using to get those goals and achieve them. But if you did enjoy this video, it'd be very kind if you could like, subscribe, comment down below, as I said, about any S&C or injury prevention exercises that you feel that would benefit me as a runner on the track, cross country and road running. Be much appreciated, and also click that bell notification so you don't miss any of these Project 40 series episodes, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye guys.